We've got KOBALT's next generation 24-volt brushless hammer drill driver. This is the model number KHD124. Now, we talked about this tool a couple of months ago when we talked about several of the new tools coming out, part of their 24-volt next generation of tools. So we had a video that kind of went to a preview of several new 24-volt tools, but we never did a review on this hammer drill driver. So today, we are going to do that. Today, we're going to do that. Anyway, KHD124B, let's go over, take a closer look at these features. We'll get weights and measurements and all that good stuff. And then we'll take it over and use it the way you want us to use it, I'm sure. And I'm sure you'll let us know if we didn't. This is the new KOBALT brushless 24-volt half-inch hammer drill driver. The model number is the KHD124B-03. That is, of course, if you get it in a bare tool. The kit, which is not yet released, will not have the B designation at the end. We'll have some other designation down there. But anyway, it's the KHD124 is the hammer drill driver. Now, it comes without the battery, of course, but we got to throw a battery on there to test this thing. So we're using the 4.0 amp hour battery. That's a good kind of mid-range. You can also get a 2 amp hour or even step up to the 8 amp hour as well. Right off the bat, we spot an all-metal chuck, and on closer inspection, we recognize that logo there. That is a Jacobs chuck, and wherever you see a Jacobs chuck, that is good quality stuff, so that's going to hold up to a beating. And again, being all metal, it's going to not only offer you some good grasp here with the knurling here around the chuck, but also it's going to last for many thousands of uses, if not a lifetime. Sometimes you'll see these things just plumb wore out from so much use, but still working absolutely perfectly. And if not, you can also buy replacements to these and pull them off and actually replace that if you haven't replaced your drill by then. Anyway, back to the drill. So we get a hammer drill driver. And what that's going to do in the regular drill driver from KOBALT looks a little bit different right here in the torque settings and the driver settings. And the reason is, on the hammer drill, we actually get a second ring here. On the regular drill driver, it just has one ring, and it has your 24 different clutch settings for driving screws. And so we have all that right here, so we can run this all the way down to 1 or all the way up to 24 for driving screws. And we'll show that here in a moment, but everybody by now pretty much kind of understands how to use a clutch setting on a drill driver. But with a hammer drill driver, what we also get is this second ring right here. And you see it's basically got 3 detents in it, so it kind of clicks into place. And right here we have an indicator. That gives us the hammer. We know in hammer drill mode. Click here, we're in screw mode or driving mode, and right here in drill mode. So that's going to be locked out. That's not going to utilize the clutch settings. The screw mode is going to utilize the clutch settings, and the hammer mode is going to not only lock out the torque setting or lock out the driver setting, so it's not actually utilizing the clutch, but it's also going to drive the impacts or the beats per minute or blows per minute as well. And on that forefront, we get up to 2,000 RPM in speed 2. We have a 2-speed gearbox, manual gearbox. So we have 1 and we have 2, and in 2 we're going to get up to 2,000 RPM and up to 850 inch-pounds of torque. And when we're in hammer drill mode, that's also going to give us 32,000 blows per minute when we're driving or when we're drilling holes in concrete and when we need that impacting or hammer drill mechanism. We have an LED light here down at the base, and we get a variable speed trigger. So even though I said we get up to 2,000 RPM, we can vary that based off the pull of the trigger with infinitely variable power delivery right there with the pull of a finger. Now looking at the size of this, you're looking at a little over 7 inches from the front of the chuck to the rear of the tool, so just over 7 inches. And height with the 4 amp hour battery, you're looking at right at 10.25 inches tall. So of course, if you're running a smaller 2 amp hour battery, that's going to be a little shorter, and with the 8 amp hour, a little bit taller. Now when we look at width of the tool, get a good reading here. 2.6 inches wide. And then with the 4 amp hour battery, almost 5 pounds with the 4 amp hour. So 4 pounds, 14 ounces, a little over 4 3/4 pounds. Again, you can lighten that up by running a smaller battery if you need to. And then, of course, we get an auxiliary handle as well at 850 inch-pounds. That's enough torque to definitely need the assistance when you're trying to drill those larger holes. Now let's take this over and actually use it and see how powerful it really is, and then we'll talk about pricing and warranty. We got the KOBALT Brushless 24-volt max, and it's the KHD124. Again, hammer drill driver. I'm going to go ahead and put in a drill bit here. This is a self-feeding auger bit. I believe this is a flex version of it. And I think this is a 5/8 drill bit. Something pretty easy, especially through this softer pine. And so we'll go ahead and leave this in speed 2 and just drill a couple of holes. Oops, I think you heard that. You heard the blows per minute. We're still in hammer drill mode. So I'm going to take that out. I'm going to go into drill mode. Now we shouldn't hear that kind of burping noise or that grinding noise. Okay, no problem at all, even in speed 2. I'm going to step up and we'll go to a 3/4 inch. Again, don't expect any problem here. Not a problem. And let's roll on up to a full 1 inch self-driving auger bit. Not an issue. Drive those all day long. So if you say, well, that was kind of too easy because those were brand new self-driving auger bits, I get it. So here's a self-feeding spade bit, but it's been around the block several times, so let's see how that does. And that is a 1 3/8, by the way. So not a problem at all driving your typical auger bit. Now the real question everyone's asking is, will it drive a 2 9/16 inch self-feeding auger bit? Well, let's find out. And by the way, I'm going to leave it in speed 2. I do not expect by any means for it to be able to drive that in 2, but I am glad that I have an auxiliary handle on here. Okay, so we're in speed 2. Again, I don't expect a win here. Then we'll shift to speed 1. Yep. Totally expected that. That's a hard to drive bit right there. So we're going to go into 1 and then see what we get. Likes to catch when it's trying to blow out the other side, but you can easily do that by coming back from the other side. Yeah, so in speed 1, no problem driving that 2 9/16 inch bit. So when you're doing plumbing rough ends and needing to make those large cuts, you don't have to have that huge hole auger. the KOBALT 24-volt KHD124 will do the job. And if you're concerned, will it drive screws? We put in a Torx bit here and we changed it to screw mode, and let's go. We'll back it down to 10 and see how far we get with this 3.5 inch exterior deck screw. So about right there. Increase that to say 16. So that sinks it right about flush in this pressure treated 4x4 with a 3.5 inch deck screw. And that's in speed 1. If I go to 2, and let's run this up to 20. We'll probably countersink this. Yeah, so countersinks it just a bit. So if we really wanted to lock that out in 24. We could really drive that screw as deep as we wanted to. And then finally, we'll take a masonry bit. I think this is a 1/4 inch or must be 3/8. 3/8 masonry bit. We'll turn it to our hammer mode. And in speed 2. So I hope those results kind of spoke for themselves. Now, pricing on this tool is $129. That's with no battery, no charger. So as you see it in the box here, so just the tool and the auxiliary handle, it's $129, and you get a 5-year warranty on that. Now, we totally expect to see a kit form of this pretty soon, but as of now, at Lowe's, this is what you're going to get, the KOBALT KHD124B, as in bare tool. So be sure to check it out. We'll have a link in the description. Performance-wise, we were impressed. It's 850 inch-pounds. Now, is it to the XTR level? So if you're, aware of KOBALT tools, then you're probably aware of the XTR line, which really, pushes the boundaries up there at the pro level as far as power goes. That's a 1,200 inch-pound drill. So we're not quite to that level yet. At the same time, we're driving 2 9/16 inch holes with this handheld drill. So do you need it any more powerful? Maybe you do. At the same time, this is probably a drill that can get most, if not all, of the jobs done that should be done with a pistol grip drill. So if you're wanting something that's a little more compact than the XTR, a little bit cheaper than the XTR, but still delivers a ton of power, then you may want to check out the KHD124. And not only did it drive the 2 9/16 inch holes, but obviously the other self-feed auger bits had no problem at all. The hammer drill mode had no trouble, driving 3/8 inch holes in the cinder block here. Sure, you may need bigger holes drilled in masonry or in concrete and going into 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, that sort of thing. If you're doing a lot of that, then you probably need to step up to a rotary hammer anyway. But the point is, this will get the job done when you're needing to run tap content and things like that. Hey, be sure to keep track of us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and even TikTok. And if you don't mind, you hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And by all means, if you hated our video, well, then give us a thumbs down. But would you let us know in the comments why? Have a great day and keep smiling.